Little fish. I say, Lord, be my savior when it comes to...
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. Today's game could end up being all about the defense as both teams rank in the top 10 in fewest yards allowed. The Falcons are #1 in defensive yards allowed, and they go up against the Vikings, who will need to be sharp on offense.
Thank you very much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL. The National Football League is here and on the air. We thought the old place was loud. Somehow this place got even louder a short time ago as the Falcons were introduced to this sellout crowd. We're set to go as the Falcons get ready to match up. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line with the Minnesota Vikings. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And look out, a big hit to the shoulder pads took him right off his feet at the 47-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. That's the #2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be #2 for long.
And that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be #1.
The numbers for Freeman a week ago. 12 carries, 63 yards.
And they've got a nice scheme going right now, and they run the football pretty well. In fact, I was talking with him on the field before the game, and he said he's starting to hear from the guys ahead of him on the rushing yardage total, and they want to know if he's going to jump up there and join them at the top of the list.
Flushed out right. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
Now Ryan. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A Falcon first down. Ryan to his young tight end Hooper.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Daniil Hunter. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
On second down, Ryan. Peke's got it over the middle. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Jones breaking from the contact. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. And I guess, Charles, sometimes when you have a receiver well over 6 foot, you do that. Just put it up there, let him grab it, and he did.
And it certainly appears like a 50-50 ball, right? We always talk about that when both sides have a chance to get it, the receiver or the guy covering him. But I think the odds actually are in favor of the offense. They can see the ball.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their third-year QB out of Northwestern, Trevor Siemian.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
First and 10, Siemian. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brooks Reed in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carry from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight end has to stay in. If you use a fullback, keep it
under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Deion Jones. Siemian in need of something big following that sack, facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Siemian. Got a man, it's right. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Give him 30 yards there. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs, and let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard at the 41-yard line. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. We remind you, coming up later tonight, we got a good NFC battle. The Eagles and Seahawks from Seattle, coverage starting at 8:30 Eastern. And tomorrow we'll put a bow on Week 13 with an AFC North matchup between the Steelers and the Bengals from Cincinnati.
A hard-hitting battle right there.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Play action. It's Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
I know exactly why I tried to throw the ball to Julio Jones there. He's never considered covered. He's either too fast or too strong. You always try and get it to him.
Especially on those deep passes. Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
But they're certainly being aggressive here. It's like being a sprinter in a 100-meter dash, exploding out of the blocks, trying to push the ball downfield. Guaranteed this defense better be on their toes. They're going to be tested all game.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Here's Sherrills. And now running right through it. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Kendall right now gearing up to help lead this offense again. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route-running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll get you out to Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
Now Cook, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. A first update now out of Jacksonville. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Taken in at the 11. First down, Ryan. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
First down, it's Simeon. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Vic Beasley in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Simeon now on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And the Falcons going to use another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun, here's Simeon. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be knocked down sideways. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And Forbath will put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anderson Dejo.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
After the interception, here's Simeon. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On second down, here's Simeon. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout, as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. 3rd and long, it's Simeon. And the pressure gets to him again.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So we're, never mind, Larry, forget your halftime report. Apparently, we are set for the 3rd quarter of action already. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrill. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Around the NFL, they're in the 2nd quarter at Lambeau. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Vic Beasley in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On second down, Cook. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18.
But that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taking it about the 16. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A good pickup there on 1st as the screen pass gets him 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
And an alley to run. Devontae Freeman. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the numbers. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
A gain of 7, and they pick up the 1st.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Picked up a 1st down.
They go play action here on 1st down. Now Simeon stripped. He lost the football, and the Falcons grab it. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They start the drive with Cook. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Here we go now.
They run it again with Cook. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Throwing on third down, Simeon. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, back now here on EA Sports. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth.
Let's go! Green, 39!
Now a first down throw, Simeon. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number 1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. Simeon on first down. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
After the interception, here's Ryan. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards through the air and a first down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Grady Jarrett, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Back to throw, Simeon. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
From the gun on 3rd, Simeon. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond True. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Brooks Reed in there to get him. And that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back the intended target. Third down here. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The Vikings on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be third and a mile. A shotgun snap for Simeon. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Carl Davis coming in to drop it for a loss of 8, and it'll be fourth down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Take it at the 37. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Freeman again. And he's got room. And he's going to be out of bounds down near the 35-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
He's going to loft one deep left and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now here's Bryant to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he's going to be out of bounds up around the 45-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39!
Again, Simeon. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. Simeon in need of something big following that sack, facing 3rd and long. They'll fake it. Now Simeon. That's caught by Treadwell. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That goes for a gain of 31. On 1st down, Simeon. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
That is caught at the 7-yard line. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal. Throwing again is Simeon. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So take away the touchdown. It's kind of been one of those games for these guys.
I think it's safe to say that that type of a play just added to their misery, right?
All right, here we go. 3-19.
3rd and 2, Simeon. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
After review of the play,
Kai Forbath on for the extra point. And he gets it to go to make this a 35-10 score now. Meanwhile, in Nashville, they're on to the 4th quarter now. It's been a bit of a shootout in that one, and the Titans now leading. Marcus Mariota, 2 touchdown passes in the W. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake it.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And he's going to go down again. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. He's going to air one out. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
And they just had another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. When you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Atlanta, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers.